Buhat Gaming.
Alright, so here we are in the pick and ban phase. Of course, Boone is gonna use that LYLIA. He has been using LYLIA almost the entire day in day one, and he doesn't. I'm not sure if he doesn't use Chang'o anymore, or his enemies are usually the ones to pick it against him. Banned so far, of course, Kufra, Esmeralda, Kimi, Ling, and Harriet. Sadly, we only saw Ling twice or three times yesterday, but boy, she is OP. She is just broken. Ling is one of the things as to how you can deal with Ling is just basically block her. That's it.
Yep, and also catch her right there. And you also need to keep an eye always on his mana bar, because every time that he has that mana, he will just always jump around any kind of obstacles right there, and it's really difficult. And that's one of the reasons why Vietnam removed Ling, and I think they're not quite comfortable yet while battling against this hero. And for the third pick, that will, or rather the third ban, that will be Amasha on the side of Vietnam.
I'm actually not used to seeing Grok being picked in the third rotation pick, so I guess this team, the ones in the red, they prioritize their one tank and just one damage dealer, because sometimes two teams tend to pick the first two tanks first. So going over to the side of SGP, they need an offlaner. THAMUZ is available if I'm not mistaken. Chong will most likely use that, and a Lolita got picked. Akai for Tan, most likely. Or Hylos, actually. Hylos is still available. If I'm not mistaken, SG was one of the countries that first used Hylos and revitalized. THAMUZ and Baksha. Ooh, first time gonna see Baksha on this team.
Yep, and I think Baksha is really okay right here for the side of Singapore, because again, you need to get that gap close as soon as possible, because you don't want to let this Chang'e use all of his skills to burst you out. And again, the Meteor Shower, as long as you remove his second skill, that Meteor Shower DPS is not that high, so they need to get that focus and also focus on the backlines, because they have a very strong frontliners. We have the Lolita, we also have the Grok, so it's really difficult. They need to get at least one more hero who can control the lane for the early game to the mid game, which is the THAMUZ. So I think this is a really flexible draft here for the side of Singapore, and a last pick Claude for Vietnam.
Well, between a Claude and a carry, which marksman do you prefer?
I think it really depends. If you want to go for those team fight oriented draft, I will go for the Claude. But if the enemy team does have a lot of tanks or heavy tanks or any kind of high HP heroes, I will go for the carry. But well, there's a little bit of discussion there before who is strongest or who is stronger. Is it the carry or the Claude? But if you're going to compare it, once they have their all of their eye for day 2 Southeast Asian Games, let's go ahead and introduce our players. On the side of Singapore, we have Furusawa playing the Kage, Lim on that carry, Boone playing the LYLIA, Chong on the THAMUZ, and Tan playing the Baksha.
And for the side of Vietnam, we have HT on this Lolita, MH for this X-Borg, Din for this Chang of VM on this Grok, and VT for this Claude.
Yep, and right now looking at the laning phase, Lim here taking a lot of damage, and they will take the first blood inside of Vietnam. Pham with the power of nature, putting down the carry on at least a few seconds, and that's what is the problem with this early game course. As long as you can stop the farm of this carry, it will be really difficult for him or her to transition into the middle game.
And well, given that carry was the one that died in the first blood, she will most likely not get a whole minion wave, so that spells bad for her. Even, I mean, some people might think it's just 3 minions, but no, it's all about getting the snowball in, getting the levels in. So now Lim will have to farm twice as much, but I gotta commend Chong on this THAMUZ in the top lane. He does not mind going 2v1 here.
Yep, and also one of the best responsibility of an offlaner is to control the lane. However, here going to the top lane as well, Boom, which is level 4 already, trying to apply a little bit of pressure here in the top lane, trying to control the farm of Pham here on his Claude. And right, looking at this emblem here, he went for a bounty hunter, so he most probably going to soak all the experience first into the top lane, and that's the responsibility of the stamps. Control the lane as soon as possible.
Man, look at those bombs coming in from Boone right here. It literally just exploded in front of Grapple here. The top lane though, Nugan waiting for the proper time to strike. But I like how usually if you're Claude and you're up against a THAMUZ, you tend to be more conservative, but he does not mind. I mean, yes, it's the early game. He does not have much damage, but he can go 1v1 when it comes to the mind games. Will Boon actually be boxing? Apparently, the answer will be no. Here we have Baksha being stunned, but he was able to get a power of nature to be used there as well. And bombs for days. Just when Boon is at the back lines, it is solid.
Indeed, and you see how tanky this Baksha is right now. He went for a tenacity emblem, so as long as his HP is just below the threshold of 30%, he will get an additional magic and also a physical armor right there. So it's really tanky, so he can just soak all the damage on the front lines here. However, here in the top lane, a little bit of risky play here.
So risky. Will he be able to get it? Apparently, the answer is yes, man. Core Inferno mode on THAMUZ. You know what? Every time THAMUZ just pops the Core Inferno, he becomes so tanky. The sustain is real. It's just, man, this is probably why THAMUZ, ever since ML was invented, ever since ML began, he is in the meta.
I completely agree, and I think there's really no way that you can nerf this guy and he will be out of the meta. However, here, the first turtle objective will be taken out by LYLIA on the side of Singapore. 1-1 at the moment, 3 minutes in, but when it comes to net worth, still even though. A little bit of a rotation. I think it's all about how the core heroes will farm their first item and then transitioning into those kind of rotations. But right now, both teams are quite passive. They're just waiting for their opportunity or at least a little bit of momentum swing for both sides.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe THAMUZ is trying to cut the minion wave here for Claude, and he tried to get the Beetle as well. It just so happened that Claude was able to spot him out. BORG though at the bot lane, most probably gonna rotate over to the mid lane, and ultimate available for Chang'e if ever they want to initiate. The Divine Judgment going to be used right there, but of course that is a Grok, very, very tanky. Of course, that's going to be used there as well. Apparently did not take out anyone. THAMUZ jumps in. He does not care. Looks like the sustain really is real, but the BORG was able to get away via the flicker.
Oh, just a grain of salt right there. He's almost going down here for Nguyen, but again, those damage still not enough. And also with the Faraga armor, he will get that additional invisible pixel where he can just jump out of the Faraga armor. However, here in the top lane, that's a nice charge here into the meteor shower. They will be able to secure that one kill. However, Tan here moving forward, going for that stun. Shield Unity, able to catch out Nguyen, but Nguyen is way too tanky as well. And also that life drain, a little bit of control when it comes to regeneration of the HP, but there's still not enough damage for the side of Singapore.
Man, the pressure coming in from Vietnam is still real. The blast can be charged. Apparently, it did not hit anyone. I mean, it technically hit Baksha, but he was in first skill mode. Stun connecting onto Divine Judgment. Will Lolita be able to get away? Apparently, the answer is yes. So, early game, they heavily depend on Boon, which it's okay, it is a mage, he'll be able to snowball, but I guess the responsibility is a tad bit too much given that Lim, he only needs to farm. Chong can only go through so much because the power spike for THAMUZ is mid to late game.
I completely agree, and Boon right here is the one of those early kind of mages where you can dish out a lot of damage with his Angry Gloom, and you really need to rely because they went for a carry, so you need to heavily rely on your mages first. However, here into the turtle cave, the turtle's been taken however by the side of Singapore, but still with the control, Vietnam doing really perfectly, trying to prevent or at least trying to even out when it comes to net worth, almost even 13,500, but I guess the game changer right here is the core heroes. As you can see, Pham with his Claude, 1 kill already, so he's able to get that 80 gold additional. And for Lim, still 0-1-0 for his KDA. But, well, as I was saying earlier, the play style of Singapore right here is they need to wait for Lim to get at least 1 or 2 core items, a Demon Hunter Sword or maybe a Golden Staff for him to join those fights. But as long as it's not ready, all pressure or all the responsibility of attacking will be under the hands of Boon.
That is Lim, of course, trying to get that minion wave. Looks like Blazing Duet has been committed, and the Grok does get taken out. Rosaro forced to go flicker back, but he did not make it. He died in the hands of the Claude, and of course, Lim still alive. That's okay. The blast can be charged. The slow coming in onto Boon, but looks like Black Shoes just came in time, and that is a kill coming into a Singapore. That was a 1-for-1 trade. Wait,
That-
1-for-2.
Yep, and that was a perfectly timed black shoes right there. However, here in the middle lane, Nguyen taking a lot of damage from Chong. Chong with the fire missiles. No, he cannot take it. On top of the meteor shower, and also an off-cam kill here in the bottom lane. Lim able to secure his first kill for FAM. Or I think this is a core versus a core. Carry
Yes.
versus the Claude there.
Ooh, of course, Chang'o gonna get stunned, but come on, Baoxia doesn't dish that much damage. If we plan to zone out Chang'o, that's okay. So going back to that kill in the mid lane, I mean, who can survive a last insanity and meteor shower, right? Even if you're a THAMUZ in Content Inferno mode, even though you have your 1 or 2 core items, you just can't last that one.
Yeah, again, those pure damage from the last insanity and also the magical DPS, the barrage of magical DPS from the meteor shower is not that. Oh, Nguyen here up with the bulwark, but again with the angry gloom, he will get that magic kill with the shadow energy. Fam moving forward with the power of nature, he needs to aim that perfectly, and also with the meteor shower now being committed by the side of Vietnam. But who will secure the turtle? Oh, however, Fam here on the top lane, a lot of casualties in the side of Singapore, getting caught out by 2 members of Vietnam.
Goodness me, LYLIA forced to reset that turtle. First, Black Shoe is going to be used as well. Will he be able to get out of there alive? Apparently, the answer is yes. Turtle still up for grabs. However, 2 very important heroes are down from the side of Singapore. That is the Kage and, oh my goodness, the carry still down, and LYLIA gets taken out as well.
And that was a very nice kill there from Chang with Dean. As you can see, he purchased the glowing wand as his first core item, and if he didn't use purchase the glowing wand, he shouldn't be able to secure that kill and boom. However, a nice engagement as well here in Vietnam, trying to take down all the turrets, outer turrets on the top lane, and also securing the turtle in their hands.
Ice Cream Wand now available for this Chang'o, and alright, they saw the power of Chong in this THAMUZ. Now they are just forcing him. Last insanity gonna be committed to him as well, but nice zoning out from Tan right here, able to save his teammate. Now of course, Singapore, they need to either regroup or try to pick off maybe Claude or BORG, because they're the ones that is much easier catch. I mean, Chang'o, she has speed boost and she has meteor shower, so you don't wanna, bet on that.
That's true. And while that is happening though, a little bit of casualty or a little bit of skirmishes here, moving up with the bulwark here, meteor shower being dished out. Furuzawa will go down, and also Dean able to take down Boom. And here comes the team Vietnam moving forward here, really playing aggressively, trying to cut out 1 more member of Singapore, and I think they might be able to take down this tier 2 turret away from Singapore, and they're not stopping yet. Tan taking a lot of damage, absorbing a lot of damage rather with his ultimate. Fam still moving forward here, and the tier 3 turret of Singapore will also go down.
Baksha is still alive, ladies and gentlemen. He actually was able to pop out 3 or 4 ultimates, so that gives Singapore more breathing time. However, turret, the turret from the mid lane is already gone. Look at the scoreboard right now. 5 kills to 9, a gold advantage in favor of Vietnam, and turret takedowns in favor of Vietnam as well.
Yep, and looking at the current scenario, Singapore just purchased a Shadow Mask, and they really need to purchase this one because, again, if you're playing from behind, you need to wrap around the enemy team, and one of the best ways to do that is by purchasing a Shadow Mask. At least it will also give an ample time if you're being focused on. If you click the Shadow Mask, the delay or at least the damage will be stopped for a little bit, and that will give you a little bit of space to run away. However, here into the near choke point, Din committing that meteor shower, still dishing out damage, and Tan will survive. Not fully charged Numinum Blast, that will do the trick, and that will at least destroy 1 member of Singapore.
Last insanity gonna be used as well, but Chong was able to make it out of there alive. Singapore gets to live another day, but Lord is already up, and will they be able to step out of the base given that the pressure given from Vietnam right now is way too intense? Meteor Shower gonna be committed there as well, just to make sure that they will be stuck in their very own base. The wings being picked up by Chong right here.
Yep, and right now Vietnam just taking advantage of the situation, choking out Singapore inside their base, taking all of their resources away from them, and which is really difficult because if you're playing Singapore right now, you really need to use your blue buff, especially for Boone. He needs to get that cooldown reduction and also those at least a little bit of mana cost reduction for every spells, which is really difficult now for Singapore. As at the moment, as long as Vietnam we're not able to give a little bit of space or at least a little bit of momentum swing for Singapore, they might be able to take this one out within the next few minutes.
I'm gonna say it right now. If Singapore loses this clash, this is it.
Yep, this is it. I completely
This
agree.
the Lord marching in their base is literally the last chance of them ever surviving walking towards them.
Yeah, and I think the best thing that they can do right now is to pick off Dean, but it's really difficult. As you can see, with just one meteor shower, Tan here.
Tan.
Oh.
He got taken out. Vitals will be used there as well. Last Insanity being picked up by X-Borg as well. Looks like a lot of teams are being committed right there. Nice sidestep coming in from this lane, but Mega Kill coming in over to this Chang. Lim still trying to defend his base. Lim got taken out, and this could possibly be a double kill coming in to this Chang. Oh, they were able to clear the waves. No, there's a new set of minions. Looks like this is it. Sadly, Singapore, they did not make it out of there alive. But GGWP to Vietnam for winning that. If I'm not mistaken, that was actually a somewhat fast game.
Yeah, it was a 13-minute game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 12 minutes and 39 seconds for